as I look over here and I see the young conservative, Mr. Zachary Altman. I welcome him here. You know, usually I bring something with me so that I can remember what I want to talk about, but I think usually when we speak from our heart, it tends to come across a lot better. Just a little background on myself. I actually have two of my sons. I have 20% of my family here today. My son Aaron is taking pictures. Aaron, can you wave? I think you can look at the back of his shirt. Aaron, if you could kind of, that's what we're doing. We call it working for the next generation. So, and way up at the top is my son Samuel. Samuel, can you wave? There you are, buddy. One of the promises we made the family when we decided to run to go and serve in Washington is that we keep our family heavily engaged. And we like doing that. I tried to get him to come up front, but he didn't want to do that. You know, we're, just like Congressman Walsh was talking about, we're at a tipping point. Today, this morning I checked, we're $15.6 trillion of debt. We've got a president that wants to continue to spend. You know, something that we always really have to consider as they want to tax us more is that who do we want to give the power to? If the government gets more of our hard-earned money, they've got the power. If the individual gets to keep more of their hard-earned money, then we've got the power. And I think the power belongs to the people. Amen? What we're going to see is this president, and we're actually already seeing it, is very, very divisive. And very, very unconstitutional. What he's going to try to do is divide the United States of America for political gain. I'll give you a case in a point. Because of all of his failures, unemployment rates at the highest since the Great Depression, for the longest period of time. Gas prices are at $4 a gallon. Think about this for a minute. When he took office, what used to cost you $50 now costs $100. People are having to decide whether or not they're going to be able to buy groceries or prescription drugs because this president is unwilling to allow the United States of America to access our own domestic energy. And what we have to do is we've got to get this president to where he makes it legal for us to tap into our own natural gas permits. He's made it illegal for us to access permits to natural gas. He's a big deceiver. What he tells people is that we're tapping into more oil than we ever have before since he's been in office. But the deceit he gives us is this. That's on public or private ground. The public ground is where the assets are, and he knows that. Remember when he went down and he was talking to the guys on the Keystone Pipeline? And he went to the part where the private sector is actually putting that pipeline in and made it look like he was putting it in. But yet won't give us the big pipeline that's going to get the oil to where we need it to be. The Affordable Health Care Act. The unconstitutional mandate. Hopefully, that thing will go down into flames and we can talk about true reform for our healthcare system. Think about this for a minute, what he's got. He's got IPAB. They don't want to talk about any of this. You know, I'm seeing a lot of veterans. Veterans, can you just kind of give us a wave? God bless each and every one of you. Thank you for your service to this great nation. It's because of your fighting and friends and others that have fought and died for this nation we're able to assemble here today. Right. But IPAB is serious because what IPAB does is the president and his czars will appoint special friends to come out and be the person between our doctors and our patients. They'll tell my 90-year-old grandmother whether or not she's going to get the health care that she deserves. It's completely wrong. Think about this. 16,000 brand new IRS agents Trust me, folks, they're not there to save us money. They want to know what you got in your account. They're going to have live access to your savings and checkings account. What was that? She's already read the whole thing, 58 and 59. But another thing that's in there is the medical device tax on American companies. It's another incentive, and these guys have done a great job of chasing companies out of the United States, but it's another incentive for the medical device companies in the United States of America to leave. Look at what we do in Washington, D.C. is we create an environment of certainty, give it peace of mind to the job creators to know that here's the cards that are on the table, now let's put people back to work. What these guys are doing, President Obama, this administration, has put more $100 million pieces of regulation on American companies, more than George Bush and Bill Clinton combined. And they believe that by taxing and regulating us is going to put Americans back to work. It doesn't work that way. It's completely the opposite. We're going to have you sing here in a minute. But here's the deal. We know there's problems, and what we have to do is on health care. We've got to have a good, solid, honest debate where Americans have a voice, where we don't have special deals for special people, where members of Congress, if it's good enough for the American people, it's good enough for Congress. Amen to that? Matter of fact, I think members of Congress should be the test marketers, and you guys try it out. Let us know how good it is, and then if it's good, we'll let you try it. Keep in mind, just like Joe Walsh, what I did is when I went to Washington, I made a promise to the people of the district. I told them that my family and I would bring our own health care to Washington, D.C. We'll reject the Congressional Golden Plan. We're rejecting the pension that they have. There's a pension that in Congress, what you do is after 5 years, you get vested. How many people can work somewhere in the crowd here? Just raise your hand. For 5 years and get vested. That's what I thought. It's wrong, and we need to eliminate that pension plan for the members of Congress. Now, trying to eliminate it is one thing because you get a lot of bad looks. So what I did was I took the bill, instead of allowing them to retire as early as age 50 or as early as age 62, I wanted to make sure that everybody out there, if they're going to get it, that they're going to go all the way to age 65. And it was really funny because when I went over to my chief of staff, Betsy, and she says, "Boss," she goes, "I got to tell you something. When you drop this bill in the hopper," she goes, "you're going to really make some people upset." And I looked right at Betsy and I said, "You know what, Betsy? I'm not here for the wall plaque. I'm here to fix America for my kids and my grandkids, and I don't care what type of looks I get." The funny thing is about 4 days after I dropped it in the hopper, I started noticing some looks going on, and I had forgotten all about dropping that bill, and I'm like, why are these guys looking at me this way? And then I remembered I dropped that bill in the hopper, and Betsy was exactly right. But I think what we need to be able to do is just be true leaders and not be afraid of any type of person out there. And I think that by going against leadership on several of the votes that I've cast, they know where Bobby Schilling stands. And you know what's nice about my family and I is that when I'm all done serving, because I don't want to make a career out of this. I had no intentions of ever running for Congress. What happened was after President Obama was out on the trail and he ran into a guy by the name of Joe the plumber.
Yeah, Joe.
And I know his name's not Joe, and I know he's not a plumber, but to be quite forward, I really don't care. Because it was what the senator at the time said to Joe about sharing our wealth. Now, being a dad and a husband and a small business owner, I had a problem with the president wanting to do this, especially coming from a family that had not taken a vacation for 14 years. And, I'm one of those guys that I believe that we can share with who we want. No government comes in and dictates to us who we share with. Now, on the flip side of that, I'm one of the guys that my accountant came to me and said, "Hey, Bobby, you've got to quit giving away so many pizzas because what's going to happen is you're going to be on the receiving end because your business is going to fold. So my dad taught me as a little kid is you give till it hurts. And now